One of the writers of Deadpool and Wolverine reveals a cut scene from Deadpool and Wolverine that was developed early on in the process of coming up with the film, and how Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man would have been featured alongside Foggy to turn down Wade. So again, this comes at us from one of the writers of Deadpool and Wolverine, and they talked about how the process of developing this film, there was obviously many different takes, different drafts, and different things that they were going for. And initially, they always wanted the scene of Wade trying to apply for a job at the Avengers. But instead of just having Happy Hogan in there, Happy would have also then had Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man walk in and Wade to sort of beg him for a job, as this is the legendary Iron Man, and that Wade really wants to impress him. And this scene would have been both of them rejecting Wade because of various circumstances that obviously they also mention in the film, but also that he's not somebody that they want, and that they already have a team that they can trust and depend on. But then they played around with the idea of, here's what happens next. And it would have been more of the Avengers showing up. Captain America, Hulk, Black Widow at the time, who was still alive. They all would have showed up, and Wade would have essentially unleashed a barrage of swears and dressing them down and literally just blasting them a new one for rejecting him, until he ultimately flips them off and walks out. But they revealed that first and foremost, the scope got too big. So then they cut it down all the way to just Iron Man, Happy Hogan, and Deadpool. And then when they reached out to Robert Downey Jr., he declined to appear in it. But what's interesting is that they believe that he turned it down because he was already in discussion with Marvel to appear as Doctor Doom, and they weren't aware. So this would go all the way back to when they were doing those reshoots a couple months before the film comes out, by the sound of it. And from what's been reported, Robert Downey Jr.'s return was in discussion as early as January. So this all lines up if you really just kind of lay out what everybody's saying and what's kind of been stated officially and unofficially. And personally, I honestly think having all the Avengers or even Tony Stark in it, I don't think it would have worked. The way they handle it is perfect because Happy truly is just interviewing people, and why would you take this guy who nobody's heard of in this universe called Wade, aka Deadpool? Why would all the Avengers show up to listen to him, or even Tony Stark? It just doesn't make sense. So the way the scene played out to me, honestly, is exactly how it was always meant to play out. So I like what we got, and luckily we're saving Iron Man for a return as, well, Doctor Doom.